Hey, my name is Moses Bomet, and first of all, I just want to say thank you so much to Ms. Flinkman for choosing to have me share to your class. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but I just wanted to make this video sharing a little bit about myself and my experiences back in Africa since you just completed your unit on Africa at your school. So a little bit about me. As I said, my name is Moses Bomet. I was born here in the United States in 1992. When my father was getting his master's degree out in Illinois, and then we moved back to Africa in 1994. So I was only 2 years old when I was here, so I don't remember much of that time, but I grew up in Kenya for 1994 to 2006 before we came back to the United States, and I've been here ever since. And I guess more so my background has been, spent a lot, of course, in Kenya because I went through the whole education system when I was in there, and my direct family is back there currently right now. I have one brother here in the United States, but everyone else is back there, and my close family and friends that I knew growing up are all back in Kenya, so it holds a dear part to my heart, and my experiences are all based from there. And just a little bit about Africa from my viewpoint and how I've seen it, and it'll segue into my experience through an organization that my friends and I started. Growing up in Africa, there's so many things that we saw, and when it was things that I just took in and thought, this is kind of how the culture is, this is how things are supposed to be, and whether that was through schooling, whether that was through just the society and the culture and different things. But when I came to the United States in November 2006, things just started changing from then, because when I came here I just saw how my life changed, and how so many things or so many opportunities, so many resources are here in the United States as opposed to back in Kenya, in Africa in general. And there's two parts of it. The first part of the story is how people think of Africa, and it was really surprising to see how much people didn't know about the continent in itself. And I mean, many people, of course, know the usual stuff like the wildlife and all the great animals back there. People know about maybe some of the struggles we have, poverty, disease, crime, insecurity, some of these problems that you hear about in the media, but no one really knew how Africa was. They didn't know the developed part of Africa. When I went to school, I was fortunate enough to go to a good school, and we had several things that were available to us, and almost felt like it was the same way here in the United States when I compare my life. And granted that other people didn't have the same opportunities, it's not that Africa is all gloom and doom, is what I'm trying to say here. There's so many opportunities out there as well in Africa. It's just people don't have access to it. People don't have a way to get to these opportunities. So in its way, there's a lot of potential in Africa, and there's great people, great opportunities coming out of there. But we just need the proper coaching, the right way to get there. We need assistance to be able to reach where we want to be and where we want to bring our continent. And so that's one thing I wanted to share for us, and that is, Africa has a positive side. Africa has a great side. Africa has a developed side, as opposed to what people would think about. The other part, which now brings in what are some of the struggles in Africa. And when I came here to the United States, I saw all those opportunities here in the United States, and it got me thinking, what do we have wrong back in Africa? What are we doing that Americans are doing that we're not doing right? Because, after all these years, we've had a lot of support from different governments, different celebrities, different non-profits to help us solve, poverty, disease, crime, insecurity, all these problems out here in Africa. And I asked myself, what is actually happening here? And through that, I actually created a speech that I shared through when I was in high school, back at Valley High School, West Des Moines. And this speech entailed about all these problems in Africa, and I identified how other organizations are doing to solve these problems. But I saw a bigger problem that's not given enough attention. That's ignorance. By ignorance, I mean lack of knowledge. Simply not having access to education. And not just any education, but quality education. That's what struck me the most. And why do I say education? And education is not only formal education, not you being at school or me going to school as well here at Iowa State. It's education in different parts, in different ways, not only formal. For instance, it could be teaching a mother how to take care of a young one, so that the child can survive after 5 years old. It could be teaching a farmer how to get a better produce out of his or her farm and be able to feed his family, and even sell something on the side to be able to have money as income to keep his family going. Things like those are ways of how you can teach people as opposed to giving people things. My speech started with give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach a man a fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Actually, this t-shirt I'm wearing has that quote on the back. And that brings me on to kind of what we did. That was through Hope for Africa. This started as a small club when I was in high school, just like you guys. We said, let's help out. Let's see what we can do as young people in the United States to help other young people like us be able to go to school. So we did a basketball tournament, we had a bake sale, we did all these different events, and slowly we raised all this money and we started providing books, started sponsoring students, help with different projects at the schools. Fast track 5 years later, up to now, we have clubs in kind of all over the Midwest and beyond. We have clubs here at Iowa State, Iowa, UNI, Loras College in Dubuque, University of South Dakota, University of Pittsburgh, University of Western Florida. We have one at Valley, another one in Waukee High School. All these places, saw our story. I said, I want to be a part of something bigger than myself. I want to see how I can be a part of the solution and just not talk about the problems. And that's what is really neat about this. And our great thing we like about what we're doing is we partner with the Africans. We come as equal partners and say, hey, how can we help you out? What are your needs? How can we help you get where you want to be? What are your goals? What are your missions? And that's how we work with these schools. It's really neat to see what we've been able to do in the past 5 years, raising over $30,000, providing, over 2,000 books, sponsoring 20 students, providing 10 computers at a school, providing electricity for a whole school. It's all these different things we've done. And it's really, the best thing about this is anyone, as young as they are, can be able to come in, whether it's through donating $5 or donating their time or donating $100 or doing whatever. They can all make a difference together. We come together and we make a huge impact. That's what it's about. And to me, it just shows, as me, I believe Africa made me to be who I am. It cultured me, it taught me everything I needed to know, and all my experiences to be who I am. And people ask me, Moses, why do you do Hope for Africa? Why do you choose to help other people? And it's basically because Africa made me to be who I am, and it's the least I can do for my fellow people back in Africa. I came to the United States, have the opportunity to get a good education, but not everyone got the same opportunity. And so I might as well act as a resource to help others who could not make it here be able to get the same education that I'm getting here in the United States. So as maybe people might be educating myself, my education, not only my education, it's also for my fellow people back in Kenya, in Africa in general. And I hope that Africans can also see that as well. And my goal is just to basically have them be who they can be, because I believe you never know what they can achieve. Maybe that's the next doctor, that's the next professor, that's the next president of a country, but we'll never know until we give them the opportunity, until we help them out to be able to where they want to go. So that's a little bit about myself, a little bit about my experiences with Africa and what we've done through Hope for Africa. But I just want to say thank you again for this opportunity to share my story, share what we've been able to do in the past few years. And I believe you've learned a lot about Africa, and it's really good to see that you're taking that time to learn about something really foreign from what you're used to. And I'm sure Ms. Flinkman did a great job on this. So once again, thank you so much, and I have a great day.